Welcome to the movie podcast. My name is Daniel. I am your host today. Alongside me, I have the Shay himself, Shabazz.
Hello, is it me you're listening for?
Ooh,
I got
I
to put a little spin on there for you.
You surprised me.
I surprised myself.
I like it. Shay, how's your week going?
Well, Raptors are still the champions, so
They are. They haven't taken it away from us.
They
yet.
haven't taken it away yet. The refs haven't come out and said, "No, wait, hold on,
Hold on 1 second.
Game 3." Kawhi sneezed too loud, so it's
okay.
40 points away from you guys.
Yeah, okay.
No, it's still I'm doing great, man. Anthony's still not here yet, so this is one of those. This is a light podcast, I guess you could say.
And is it heavy when Anthony's here? Is that
I think so, because he brings so much.
He brings
aggression.
He brings the hot takes.
He brings so many hot takes.
So many hot takes.
Just thermal event everywhere.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
As always, you can catch a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast across your favorite podcast services like Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're everywhere. If we're not there, let us know and we'll get there. If you want to be part of the show, write into thistimewith.com/talk. Send us your corrections, your movie suggestions, all of the above. We still haven't been proved wrong on something yet.
No one's corrected us yet.
We're not wrong on anything.
And I know I slip in a mistake here once in a while.
Right.
To see if people will correct us.
You're just testing the audience now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what?
Let's not,
y'all never
let's not
correct
do them
us.
like that. You know,
No.
We have a great audience. Thank you so
Yeah.
much to everybody who's rated us in iTunes as well.
Huge.
If you haven't yet, please do so. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of news and trailers and things to talk about today, but before we do all that, we have some questions.
We do have some questions.
Awesome. So let's get to them.
Also, one more thing I want to add.
Sure.
You can catch a new episode also on YouTube.
Oh,
If you want to watch us and see us instead of hearing our sultry voices.
you could see our sultry and sad faces and stuff.
Yeah, you can see the depression that goes behind the voice.
Okay. There's a reason why this is an audio-only show for so long.
Yeah.
Our first question comes from Lynne, and she says, you guys spoke about a few Disney shorts that appear before movies in the last podcast. That's right, we did. What is your favorite Disney Pixar short? Side note, even I struggled to pick one. Paperman, Lava, Bao, Inner Workings, La Luna. Yeah, this is hard. LOL. Lynn says that, not me. Shay, where do you stand on this?
So when I look at Disney Pixar shorts, I love Lava,
Yeah.
but
I have a dream.
That was really good. Wow.
Thank you.
It's as if you were the volcano.
Thank you. I've been known to erupt time and time again.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
I mean, once in a while.
Don't they just
Wait a
erupt
second.
once? But I'm a little biased. Bowist?
Bowist. Oh, I thought you were trying to do a play on words.
I thought
there.
you know what I was.
I'll allow it.
December.com/talk. I think Bao is one of my favorites. And the reason why is, again, it takes place in Toronto.
Yeah.
So that was huge. Domi Shi, the director of Bao, she also graduated from Sheridan College,
Yep.
which is right here in the great city. So that to me is one of my favorites. When I look outside of Disney Pixar shorts, I think of ones like Paperman.
Paperman is a beautiful film. Such a
Great,
beautiful film.
great short.
Blue Umbrella.
Blue
is
Umbrella.
another great one as well too.
Yeah, so these shorts were great, and they're outside of the Disney Pixar area.
Right.
But what about yourself?
I'm very much the same as you. Like, the thing I love so much about the Pixar shorts is that Pixar doesn't necessarily stick to their like known art style for them. You have something like Jerry's Game, which is very much in the Pixar realm, and Boundin' and all those. But then you also have Piper, and you have Day and Night, not the Kid Cudi song, Day and Night, that are just like mind-blowingly beautifully animated, and they tell such rich stories in such a short amount of time. And it's like nobody does it like Pixar.
No. Got a little fun fact about Jerry's Game.
Oh, tell me, yeah. So Jerry's Game is the one where he's playing chess against himself.
Right in front of A Bug's Life. And
Yeah.
this is so Bug's Life was the second film to come out right after Toy Story.
The second, yeah.
Well,
the first film.
Well,
to come out after-
the first film to come
the
out
second
after.
movie to come out of Pixar.
Second Pixar film, but
Yeah.
first one after Toy Story. And at this time, obviously Pixar is still a brand new company. They're super small.
Right.
They're going full steam ahead with The Bug's Life, and then they were asked to do Toy Story 2. So Bug's Life came out in 98.
Yes.
Toy Story 2 is 99. Obviously, we know these films take about 3 to 4 years to make. Now, John Lasseter and the company weren't feeling Toy Story 2 so much from the production that they'd done. So right around January or December of 98, basically, 98 December or 99 January, they scrapped about 90% of Toy Story 2.
Damn.
And decided to rebuild and remake the film by its November release.
Right.
So that's like, what, 8-9 months.
Yeah,
it's a very short amount of time.
especially for an animated movie in 1998.
Which takes about 3 to 4 years again, remember
To
that.
render, I think, a frame.
Right. So they used a lot of different assets. So Jerry's Game, for example, they used Jerry, who was in Toy Story 2 as the cleaner.
Yeah, the one who polishes Woody up and
Woody,
makes him.
so they used
back
his
into-
assets again. And the scene in space with Buzz with the video game, a lot of that space in Moonrock and the crevices in the canyons is all from Bug's Life.
That's amazing.
And then the tree that is from Sarah McLachlan's "You Love Me." What song is it again? I ruined the song so badly.
When
there.
somebody loved me.
When somebody loved me, everything was beautiful. The tree from that song is actually from A Bug's Life as well.
All right, that's why I cried both times when I saw it.
Little fun fact there.
But yeah, the thing I love about Pixar too is that they're known to have so many of these little Easter eggs throughout their
100%.
films, right? Like, I just found out recently that Duke Kaboom was in Incredibles 2. He was in like Jack's playpen.
Yeah, Duke Kaboom from Toy Story 4. Yeah.
Duke Kaboom. Let's kaboom. Yes, I Canada. Lynn, thank you so much for the question. Let's get into our next question, shall we?
Yeah.
Get ready for a hot take.
Oh,
because I
buddy.
got Shay. Put on your oven mitts.
I've got my mitts on.
because this is coming right out of the oven.
Oh, it's hot.
Josh writes in and says, "What's a movie that was well received but you absolutely hated?"
Oh, my goodness.
Example. I think Gravity is probably the worst movie of all time.
That's Josh saying
This is
not
Josh's
you.
take. This is not mine. I am wearing my flame retardant suit right
Buddy.
now because that is a hot take.
Buddy, that is warm to the
That
touch.
That is
Yeah.
a little.
That is a little
like
lava.
exit the building.
Like that.
Pull the
yeah.
fire alarm.
That is. Oh,
Exit to the back door. Save the children.
that is intense. All right. Well, here's the thing. When we talk about films that we absolutely hated,
Right.
I
tend to feel like we're not alone in that.
no,
Right.
no, and I think that when I look back at it, films that I've hated are typically films that aren't well received or well liked.
Right.
Films that are well received that I didn't enjoy is probably the more correct question for me here.
For sure.
Because
The best way for us to approach this question.
right, because even if a film is super well received, I didn't like it, I can still find something in it that I know was well done.
For sure.
Or is a technical achievement.
sure.
Or is some sort of a writing achievement.
Okay.
But I won't walk out hating it. So if I look back at The Hateful Eight, for example.
Tarantino's last film.
Tarantino's last film, right. That
Well,
came
yeah,
out.
he hasn't had anything else since
Not-
then, right?
not since then,
Wow,
right?
since 2015.
Yeah,
That's long.
crazy.
Yeah.
So that movie, I did not like at all.
Yeah.
I walked out of it.
You were one of the 8 people who hated it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just did not like it at all. It
Right.
didn't vibe with me. But I can appreciate someone trying to convert a stage play into a film.
Yeah, I mean the cinematography is beautiful. in
Cinematography is
it.
beautiful.
The acting
The
as well.
acting is amazing, too.
But just because you have those elements doesn't mean you're making a good movie, right?
Right.
For sure.
And then I look back at movies like Fate of the Furious, super well received as well.
it was
I mean,
okay.
it was like what 6, 7, 8. You was getting
Yeah.
around there in terms of like fans loving it and
Right.
also critics even saying it's a good movie.
That is they jumped 17 sharks in that movie.
It to me,
Yeah.
it was so mind-numbingly painful.
Yeah.
I just was like, no, this is not for me. Then I
Right.
look back at films like The Big Short, which every time I tell people I didn't like The Big Short, they're always like, what's wrong with you? But again, I can appreciate the film because it's got great acting in it.
For sure.
But I fell asleep during it so many times.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Adam McKay, even with Vice, Vice was nominated for a couple Academy Awards this year, and was nominated for Best Editing, which baffled my mind because
Baffled. One of the
editing
worst-
in that film
worst
was,
editings.
was confusing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vice is up there. The Big Short is up there too. Where it's just, I feel like The Big Short. They, again, I love Adam McKay, but I guess his
Same.
more,
I like his comedy.
his financial, political, government movies so far,
His dramas, yeah.
haven't been like landing for me. I just think because The Big Short was marketed almost like a Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
And there's some moments of it where they're really trying to make it that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't do it for me. What about you?
I'm trying to think of other movies that that come to mind for this.
What about that movie that you were just telling me about?
Yeah.
It's about not a king. It's about a queen.
A queen. Just say the movie if you know it, man.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh.
I'm like,
is that? Oh yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody. Like,
yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't hate Bohemian Rhapsody, of course.
No.
But if we change this question, I just think that Bohemian Rhapsody was such a swing and a miss of what could have been an incredible movie. And there's no movie I think last year that was more divisive in terms of people loving or hating it.
Yeah.
Right? Bohemian Rhapsody, a biopic, a drama, almost made $1 billion last year.
Crazy.
It's at $900 and something million, which shows the power of Queen. I only think, imagine if it was like a
good movie,
an amazing good movie.
Imagine if it was a good movie. How much
Rami
money
Malek,
would have made?
Great acting in it, but I think that movie was held up because of the soundtrack, because it's Queen.
Yeah.
Right. Anything other than that just hit the wall for me.
Like I think for me, like Rocket Man is 100 times better.
And it's crazy because it's the same director,
right,
who took over for Bryan Singer, who left.
Right.
It's just crazy that I feel like, Dexter Fletcher was like, now I get to really embrace what I want to do.
Because you can see his elements in Bohemian, like the moments of Bohemian Rhapsody that are good, I'm sure are Dexter Fletcher, and then everything else was Bryan Singer.
Yeah, and people were saying like that movie won Best Editing.
And that movie has a scene in it.
Yeah, that has like
blows my mind.
That like 30 cuts in like 10 seconds, and people were saying that they believe it won Best Editing because Dexter Fletcher had to come in there and put together a movie out of just parts of what Bryan Singer had made and him filling in the blanks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wouldn't have been easy to do. That movie for me wasn't it.
It's no bueno.
Yeah. But let us know what you think. If you have a movie that was well received and it wasn't for you, let us know. Write in. Send us some of your hot takes.
Yeah, if you hated a film that's super popular, holla at your boys at the Movie Podcast.
Thistimewith.com/talk.
Yeah.
Shay, I think it is time for us to get into the news. I was telling you, we don't need Anthony.
That is good. That was on point.
He's going to come back next week and be like, "Oh, is it the news time? I'm not too sure what's happening."
Blue. And like, no, Anthony, that's not how it goes.
Is that how it is in California? Because it's not here.
Stupid. He's in LA.
Take us with you next time, man.
You idiots.
Our first news comes from Anthony. Damn it!
Oh, damn it!
Anthony D'Alessandro of Deadline. Marvel Cinematic Universe planning a return to Comic-Con Hall H after a 2018 break.
That's big.
That's huge.
That's a big one right there.
Last year we did not have any Marvel at Comic-Con last year. They basically gave us Infinity War and said, "We'll see you in a year."
Yeah, we'll see you in hell.
So Anthony goes on to say that we're hearing that Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe is heading back to San Diego Comic-Con after sitting out Hall H last year. While there haven't been any concrete plans made yet in regard to the lineup, it's an important year for the MCU in the wake of Avengers Endgame wrapping up, a number of storylines, plus
the gains
in the expansion of Marvel with the Disney-Fox merger. Pretty crazy, right? This is coming after 2 weeks ago, I think we spoke about Warner Brothers not being at Comic-Con, and now Marvel's like, guess who's back?
Yeah. This is big because, I mean, I would have bet all my money that D23 is a place that they would have done what they wanted to do.
Yeah, or having their own event.
Yeah. I mean, like, if it's not their own event, it would have been D23 because I feel like Comic-Con is one of those places now where it's just too crowded, it's too saturated.
It's like what E3 has become, right? They want their own PR beats to come out, right?
So that's amazing. I mean, I guess it's not confirmed yet, is it?
Well, there have been pictures of Avengers around San Diego with the Comic-Con logo.
Okay.
So it's like they're advertising Marvel at the Comic-Con San Diego. So there hasn't been like an official confirmation yet. But
okay.
I would assume that with the marketing, the banners and stuff that.
It's a pretty good sign then, right?
And I mean, there's no bigger stage for them to announce this than a Comic-Con, right?
No, 100%. So this is going to be big. I mean, they've got a lot of plans to kind of like... They've also got these, and we've been talking about them before, these castings that have been announced or quote-unquote announced. Let's really, get to the point here. Like, what are we actually going to be seeing?
It's crazy. And Black Widow is literally shooting right now in Budapest.
Is it actually?
It's actually shooting, but they haven't confirmed the movie. So it's it's an interesting turn of events right now.
Which, spoiler alert, I don't know how they're making this movie. I guess it's a prequel.
I would assume it's a prequel.
Even though I don't want a prequel.
Right. Or what if it's like in another universe? I hope they don't take that route either.
I don't take that route either.
Let's have
because,
these
like, to me,
matter,
like,
right?
with Black Widow dying, spoiler alert, in Endgame.
We're 2 months out.
We're 2 months out, so I don't really care now. I just don't want to revisit some of those characters anymore. Like,
right.
I feel like their story arcs are done now.
Right. Let's pass this torch along. Right. For sure. I'm with you. I mean, if the movie comes out and it's great, we're 100% here for it.
Which it will be.
I'm just curious, what is this going to be?
Yeah.
Right. Also, there was word this week that it wasn't like Kevin Feige said that Avengers Endgame was coming back to theaters. Mm-hmm. Did you hear about this?
I heard about this. Yeah.
With some new footage.
Is this on like websites for purchasing tickets yet? Or
no? Like I've been checking like Cineplex here. I don't want the Avengers stress again, man. I've had such a peaceful sleep.
You had some PTSD when you saw those tickets come back.
When I saw, I'm like, Avengers Endgame's coming back to theaters. Yeah. So I have no idea what this setup is supposed to be. I've been checking websites to see if it's marketed differently at all. Nothing yet. Apparently, it's supposed to be next weekend.
I guess the only thing I can think of is they wouldn't market it differently, but it would just be like how when I saw Avengers Endgame about a week or two after it came out.
Yeah.
They just had the Spider-Man trailer in front of it, this time saying, hey, or at the end of it, sorry, not in front of it. That had at the end of it saying, hey, stay for the end of the film.
Oh,
we're going to drop the new trailer for
Cover your eyes if you haven't seen it.
Hey, bloody hell, you mate. And I was like,
why does he sound like a chimney sweep from Mary Poppins, first of all?
He was doing his best Dick Van
Poppins.
Dyke. He was doing his best Dick Van Dyke.
But yeah, what do you think? Oh, I think we'll see it. I think we're going to see it still. Even it's like an extra like couple frames.
It's
of
7 minutes of a movie, right?
Is it?
Of what, the end game?
Yeah, it's 7 extra minutes.
It's 7 extra minutes, but it's at the end.
Is it like an after credit?
It's during the credits.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We don't really know what to expect. How important can it be if it wasn't in the original release?
Right.
Which everybody saw.
Right. And if you haven't yet, what the hell are you doing?
Come on, why are you listening to us? Stop listening to us.
I just spoiled Black Widow's death for you.
Yeah. You know who else dies?
Iron Man.
Oh, I was going to say.
Who?
Our hopes and dreams.
Oh, no, name someone else who dies in Avengers Endgame.
Cap is on the verge of death, pretty much.
He's pretty much dead.
He's like, as soon as he stands
He's living
up
in America,
bench,
he doesn't have any health care, so he's dead.
He's like 130 years old now.
Yeah, who else is going to die? Who else dead? Someone else died.
Someone else died in it.
No?
Who else died in it?
I feel like, dude.
Who?
Thanos died.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
and his army. His army blew away.
Army died, a lot of people died.
All right, well.
Welcome to Who Died in the Avengers Endgame podcast.
But yeah, stay tuned for that. If we do end up watching this, which we most likely will, we'll be talking about it on next episode, so stay tuned for that. Our next story comes from Lesley Goldberg of The Hollywood Reporter. J.J. Abrams' bidding war won by WarnerMedia as Bad Robot nears $500 million partnership. Again, a couple weeks ago, I think the same episode that we spoke about Warner Brothers, we said that JJ is having a bidding war with Apple and Warner, and it looks like Warner won out.
I wasn't here for this one. I think this was you and Anthony.
Yeah, this was when Anthony was here.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been back since.
Since then. So he's probably out there on a mission trying to get this bidding war to end.
So following a months-long courting process that included multiple suitors... what is
this, Aladdin? Like, what is this?
WarnerMedia is in final negotiations for a partnership with Bad Robot, sources say. It's unclear for how many years the new agreement is for, as the deal would keep Abrams with the company he has called home since 2006. Sorry, give me 1 second here.
It's not even been finalized, yeah?
Hasn't been finalized. Sources say that the estimated deal will be close to $500 million. This is crazy. I mean, there's so many questions for this, too. Like, is this going to make him only be able to release content on the WarnerMedia platform? Is he still going to be able to work with Disney at all? Like, there's so many questions here. Like, is this like an exclusivity contract?
It's interesting. I would have bet more money that Apple would have
for sure, because he's making a show for Apple.
Yeah. So this is huge that WarnerMedia now, I guess, as a streaming service is kind of coming out.
Right.
We'll see.
2020
really been announced in yet.
No, but we spoke about a couple shows last week that were on it, but we don't know.
We don't know anything yet.
We don't know what it is yet.
No.
You know what I mean? He wants to end the party at 11. What's that reference?
It's on Social Network.
Okay, I was asking the audience.
Oh.
Okay, thanks for ruining it.
Whoa. Come into this time with .com/talk.
Is that what I sound like?
That's what you sound like.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, continue your point, please.
But it's just, I mean, like, again, like these weird exclusivity deals now with streaming services. It's just
everybody's planting their
it's
flag.
giving me that vibe that I got when we were coming out with music streaming services, and people were like, "No, we have exclusive rights to Frank Ocean's album or Drake's album
or Jay-Z's album,
or Jay-Z's album, or so on and so forth." So, it's all it does. It hurts fans.
Yeah.
So
and movies are so much harder to watch if they're on exclusive streaming services, right?
Especially when region locking, you look at it. Like for us in Canada here, it's a bit tough sometimes. Like I feel like a third world country where I'm trying to watch a YouTube video and it's like, this isn't available in your country.
You can subscribe, but you can't watch it.
Yeah.
Or with stuff on Hulu. Like there's so many series that we'll never watch because we don't have access to.
Yeah.
At least with music, you could just pull it up on YouTube and actually hear it because they'll put it to their YouTube. But to have it on your phone, you have to have a streaming service. But it's just an interesting time where everybody's kind of planting their flag somewhere, and we kind of have to wait to see where this all ends up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, J.J. Abrams.
Speaking of streaming services.
Yes, let's continue on. Adam Sandler's Murder Mystery. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah.
Oh, you watch it? Okay.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler's Murder Mystery viewed by 30.9 million accounts in 3 days, Netflix claims. This is coming from Ethan Vlessing of The Hollywood Reporter.
That is absolutely mind-blowing.
That is a big number.
That's a big number. I didn't expect this movie to get the traction that it did.
Netflix says this is their biggest opening ever
which
for
is
a movie,
huge.
for an original Netflix movie.
I enjoyed Bird Box more.
Did you?
Yeah. So let me talk a little bit about Murder Mystery. It's what you expect. It's luckily. So here's the thing. I have trouble watching Adam Sandler movies now.
Do you remember when the deal was announced like years ago, saying, "Hey, Netflix has like 8 Adam Sandler movie pictures coming out," and he's just been pumping them out, man.
Crazy.
Yeah. Because he uses the same cast and every
exactly.
movie.
And but actually, it's funny in this movie. I don't think I see many of his.
It's because Jennifer Aniston is in it. The money went to her.
Yeah, but it's another thing where it's like you can tell he's doing it identification. It's not really a movie he's making well thought out.
Right.
But overall, like it was okay. I laughed once, maybe. And it's exactly what you expect. It's Clue meets Murder on the Orient Express, and even at the end of the film, there's a scene of him going on a train, and the train is called the Orient Express.
Got you.
And it was just like so on the nose that I was like, "Oh, okay, well that's pretty obvious."
Right.
Is it
like setting up a sequel, or is it just like more like a little
I think
like
it's just
a
like
wink
homage,
to the audience?
you know, a wink to the audience, very obvious wink. I didn't think it was a awful movie or a bad movie. I just was like, okay,
it's what you expect.
Yeah, and the thing is, I love the cast. I love Jim Martin. I love
Jennifer
Aniston, and I don't really like Adam Sandler that much anymore.
His mustache bothers me in this movie.
Yeah, but he's actually not the most annoying person.
Does
in
he do
movie.
like his voices in it?
He doesn't.
The voice?
He doesn't really do them that much. Like he actually a lot of the film, it doesn't seem like he wants to be there.
Got you.
So
and it's interesting because I have like a love-hate relationship with Adam Sandler, right? I think like sometimes he'll just perform in a movie. I'm like, oh my god, this guy could act. Yeah. He's fantastic. And then other times it's just like they're filming him on vacation. Yeah, you know.
And like I haven't watched any of his latest movies, but I watched this one because my girlfriend wanted to. And
does it surprise you though that
100% surprises me?
It's done so well.
Yeah, I didn't expect this movie of all movies. Like I'm trying to think, like, are there a lot of Adam Sandlerites out there or something that I don't know. Like
I feel like this movie would have bombed for sure in theaters. Nobody would have gone to see this.
There is nothing in this movie that makes me go, "Oh wow!" Like there was no call to action for me. Like when I look at Bird Box, that felt like it was coming hot off the press of A Quiet Place.
Right.
Sandra Bullock, who's a great name. Yeah. It had a cool thriller vibe to it. Again,
that was a great time and place movie. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but it was still. It released at the perfect time.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that movie to me is something that I would have expected to completely blow this out. But 30.9 million accounts watching a movie
and I think Bird Box had the last. Record.
It did. But like for this movie now to take over, the movie's called Murder Mystery.
Yeah,
that is the genre.
Yeah,
that's like a song being called song.
It's called hip hop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like it just was like to me, I was like, okay, it wasn't the most awful thing in the world. Right. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't very good.
Right. A couple years ago, Netflix said that Adam Sandler movies have such like a huge watch rate on their platform.
God, I don't know much in them, but yeah, sure.
But yeah, I mean, this happened, and what do you think this means for like comedies going forward? Like, do you see the appeal now for them to go to Netflix, for Netflix to be buying these movies?
Yeah, I see it. I mean,
like Always Be My Maybe just did so well on the platform too. Yeah, it was a really fun movie.
Comedies have a tough time, I think, in theaters. People usually find them easier to watch than at home.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? I mean, like, there's only a select few comedies I could think that really hit it out of the park in theaters.
That are, like, crowd pleasers. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Adam Sandler, for him to find his home on Netflix, that's amazing. You know, good for him. He's making his money. He's doing his thing.
He's had a comedy special as well, too. I think that came out.
Yeah, he did, yeah. So, you know what? Good. That's awesome for him. I mean, Happy Madison, great. But I guess they're just not for me. And people that enjoy them, I'm glad you guys are loving them.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you're getting what you wanted, right?
Yeah, and it looks like they're most likely going to continue on this relationship. If this
I wouldn't be surprised.
The fruits that it's bearing.
If this movie just did what it did, I wouldn't be surprised they signed up for more.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, our final story of the week. Lionsgate is planning a Hunger Games prequel. This comes from Dave McNary of Variety. Another prequel. So we can't escape the prequel. It was a matter of time, I feel like.
Yeah, it took a while, though.
Harry Potter. Well, when did this part 2 of
Hunger
Mockingjay? Mockingjay, I want to say his last.
I can find out for you.
What was it, 2015?
While you read more about it.
So I'll read more about this from Variety. Lionsgate has begun working on a Hunger Games prequel movie focused on the forthcoming novel from writer Susan Collins. So that novel's coming out in March of next year. The Hunger Games series has made nearly $3 billion worldwide. It is still untitled and will be set 64 years before the first book.
Yeah, this is so Mockingjay Part 2 is 2015.
Yeah, so about this realistically, I feel like if this book is coming out in 2020, we'll probably have this movie by 2021.
Yeah,
if not, they'll probably already have started for release next fall.
Wouldn't be surprised either. Now, I've seen them all except Part 2, actually, which you think I'd want to see the...
I haven't seen Part 2 either. Yeah. And I've seen them all except for Part 2, which is weird.
You would think that we would have seen it because we were probably like, oh my God, ending. Cliffhanger. Like, let's see what happens. I just didn't like Part 1 that much. That, like, to me...
Of Mockingjay.
Yeah, I didn't care if I went back to Part 2.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, I remember seeing the first movie in theater. I saw it at 9 a.m. on release day.
Why?
Because it was just there. It was happening. At 9 a.m. as it was playing.
Were you a big Hunger Games fan?
No, not at all. I was just like... It was just a big event in 2012 when it was happening, right?
Oh, okay.
So I went to go see it. I thought it was good. Catching Fire, I thought it was a great movie.
I thought Catching Fire was really good.
Such a great movie. And then I saw Mockingjay on home release. I didn't even see it in theaters. And then I just never bothered to watch Part 2 just because I lost interest at that point. You know what I mean?
It was such an oversaturated market.
It was so fast. They were all coming out too. Like you had 4 movies in 3 years.
Yeah, that and we had like those Scorcher trials, or what are they called?
The Maze Runner.
The Maze Runner. Those movies are pumping out. Yeah. You had literally every show on Netflix.
What's the one with that got Divergence? Divergent was another one that were just...
They ended up finishing on Netflix?
Yeah. Ugh. Oh, did it even come out?
I don't know, actually.
They said they wanted to do a show, and then Shailene Woodley's like, no, I'm not coming back for that.
No, yeah. And you had 50 Shades of Grey coming out.
We had, the 2011 to 2016 was... a
weird time.
Twilight was finishing up as well, too. So we just had the young adult novels just being pumped. That was just being pumped into Hollywood. And and then now we don't see them anymore because they don't perform.
They don't do well.
Again, it was a matter of time, but before a big franchise got a prequel. So
and I'm not surprised this is getting one. This is at least getting one based off of a book series versus where like Fantastic Beasts has nothing is basing it off of really, other than like a short guide,
textbook,
really.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I wish J.K. Rowling would have, not to turn this on a Harry Potter thing, but I wish J.K. Rowling would have come out with books first, just because then there's things to pull from. Yeah. Right? I don't know how this movie's going to do. I don't know what interest is there for a prequel of The Hunger Games with an all-new cast and people you don't really care about yet. Yeah. History is not on their side, if I'll say that. No. Of all the franchises, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter.
Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Harry Potter. Am I missing one? Star
Godfather.
Wars? Godfather. Well, I mean, at least it won an Oscar, right? Yeah. It was and it was an amazing movie. History's not on their side for this prequel.
No.
What do you hope? Is there anything you're hoping to see from it?
If not to sound mean,
Sound mean.
It doesn't. It's not on my radar.
Okay.
It's not something that I am looking forward to. If it comes out and it does well, all the power to it. You know, there are fans of these series, and I'm
for sure,
and I'm glad that at least something is coming out. I'm finding it a weird time right now in Hollywood and in theaters where I feel like people aren't wanting to go to the movie theaters that much right now.
I completely agree with you,
and which really upsets me. It's a really bummy situation for me because I love the theater, but when I went to go see Toy Story 4,
which
on a second time, it was a Friday night, 9 p.m., and it was a very empty theater. So if a movie like this will get people into their seats, that's amazing. But my fear is it won't, because people are feeling this fatigue,
right,
with prequels and with Hunger Game and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it's that's the perfect segue into the box office, which we're about to talk about.
Yeah,
Toy Story 4 opens to 118 million. So as we've spoken about on the show, it's been a really rocky time for the box office. Just like what Shay was saying, people aren't going to the movies. They're not interested in these big sequels and prequels and all that, right? Toy Story 4 still did really great this weekend, but the projected amount it was looking to make was like 140 plus.
Yeah.
Incredibles 2 last year did 180 million opening.
I know.
Right? Which is insane. I would have never thought it would have done that much. So that's the biggest animated opening of all time. This is still the best Toy Story opening of all time, but it's not what they were expecting.
But see, it's funny because when I saw 118 for Toy Story 4, I was kind of like, ouch. Like,
right?
A little bit of me was...
Because, like, you know, like, if Avengers opened to this, we'd be like, that's disastrous.
Yeah, like, this is
which is crazy to think, though. That's just, like, the caliber of where Disney's at. Same thing with you. When I saw Toy Story 4 today, for my second time, there was probably... In the IMAX theater, there was probably only about 12 to 15 people. And I was just, like, looking around. I'm like, this is so strange. And this was around 11:30. I'm like, maybe because it's IMAX, it's more expensive. Maybe because it's earlier. I don't know. But, like... all I remember is when I saw Toy Story 3, packed all the times I watched it. When I saw Avengers Endgame, I saw that movie at 9 a.m. on a Sunday for the 5th time, and it was still a packed house.
Daniel, I saw Avengers.
Sorry, you sounded like you were going to get me in trouble for something. Like,
no,
Daniel,
I'm just like I'm totally like mind blown right now, because like even when I saw Avengers Endgame for my like 4th time or whatever.
Well, I think we were probably together watching it.
Was it us together?
Yeah. We saw, how many times have you seen Avengers? 4 times, right?
I think so. 4 or 5 times at least, because I saw it. I wasn't with you this time. I remember this. I was with my family.
Okay. Thanks for not calling me your family.
You're not.
Man.
I barely know you.
Okay.
And I remember it was with my mom or my brother or somebody, because there was a family sitting. There was someone sitting in my seat. I remember I told you this story. There was someone sitting in my seat, and I'm like, hey, you're sitting in my seat. And then they moved to the seat beside me. And I'm like, no, you're still in my seats. I bought these seats, man. Get out of them.
Yeah.
And then they just moved to the seats over. And I'm like, dude, what? Did you not buy seats to this movie?
Yeah.
Because you need to get out. This is a packed show. And it was like 2-3 weeks in. So Toy Story 4, I watched it again a second time on a Friday night at 9 p.m. And it was primarily empty.
It's crazy.
That's upsetting.
This is Toy Story.
It's Toy Story.
It's Toy Story. We loved this movie, but it's crazy that this is still...
It's upsetting.
What do you think it is? Like, do you think it's just like a sequel thing?
I think it's fatigue. I think people really right now need to see a film that's going to blow their mind. Toy Story 4, people were very... Like, we were hesitant to go watch it.
For sure.
And I've talked to people, and they're like, oh, it's good? Okay, maybe I'll go see it now. But it's like, why weren't you there in the beginning? Like, what is it? So I think the true fans or fans of the film are going, but there wasn't enough for people to say... Oh man, I got it.
It wasn't the event that Toy Story 3 was. Because not that we were hesitant to see it,
because the marketing
we were
didn't call
hesitant
me
about if it was going to be good or not. Right?
But also like the marketing for me wasn't making me want to go watch it.
And,
it didn't give me the vibes
right? Like,
of like a Toy Story film
for sure. And yeah, many people believe like Toy Story 3 that was their ending.
Yeah,
right. Major Toy Story fans haven't seen the spin-off TV movies and things like that.
Yeah.
Continuing on in the box office this week, Child's Play, 14.5 million, second place.
Honestly, that's great for this film, because if you look at it, the budget's $10 million.
Yeah. Still under what they were expecting?
Still under what they were expecting, but $14 million. Again, what did I say? It's a movie that's coming out in the summertime.
Yeah. Wrong time.
Wrong time
for this movie.
Wrong time. But it's going to make back its budget. It's going to make back its marketing, most likely. How much profit it'll make, I don't know. Right now, it hasn't opened up anywhere else, really, I think, yet.
No.
because the wide release happens in a couple days.
For wide release across North America, you mean, or just worldwide?
Worldwide,
yeah, I think worldwide. But even then, I
think it's still got a couple more days left for the worldwide release.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think it's 3 more days.
The other movie that opened up this weekend was Anna, which is the Luc Besson film.
Yeah.
It opened to, my God, I'm sorry to laugh. 11th place. Ouch. Opening to 3.5 million. That hurts, man. That's crazy.
You know what's still doing great? Aladdin. It's at number 3. 5 weeks now.
I mean, it's a Disney movie. It's I think it's almost at $900 million worldwide right now, so it's doing pretty well. Nice
worldwide,
to see.
It's at about 810 million.
Okay, so getting there.
Still amazing, right?
I mean, Rocket Man's doing really well too. Men in Black International came in 4th this weekend too in its 2nd week. So yeah, it's an interesting time at the box office. I'm curious now, like they're projecting Spider-Man: Far From Home to be making 150 million plus
on its opening weekend.
I wonder if it's going to hit that.
I think it will. I think people still are invested in
the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Marvel Cinematic Universe, especially in Spider-Man.
For sure.
And the trailers are great.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal's great.
The social media reactions that came out this week have been phenomenal.
Right.
So
they're doing the right thing. They're also playing off the fact that it's aftermath of Endgame.
Right.
So why wouldn't you go see it?
Yeah. It's because this is the sequel to what will most likely be the biggest movie of all time.
Exactly.
Right. So we shall see.
Yeah.
Just a quick note, I want to say that I pulled these box office stats from Box Office Mojo and from Rebecca Rubin at Variety. So we have the links in the description of this episode for all of the articles that we talk about. So definitely give them the click if you want to learn more. And we thank them for their sources.
Yeah, gracias.
Time to get into some new dates. So this isn't a segment that we always have on the show, but it's worth having when there's a new date to announce.
Exactly.
So Pixar...
A new date, a new time. That's the theme.
Okay. I like it. Remember it for next time.
I'll forget it all.
So Pixar announced a new movie just kind of out of the blue.
Very out of the blue.
Pixar just announced, hey, you know what? We have a movie called Soul coming out, and it will take you on the journey from the streets of New York City to the cosmic realms to discover the answers to life's most important questions. This is coming to theaters on June 19th, 2020. So almost a year from today, just under a year now, directed by Pete Docter.
Directed by our boy Pete.
Crazy, right?
PDD.
PDD.
Yeah.
Director of Up and director of
Inside Out. He's one of the main brains behind Pixar.
And Monsters, Inc. as well, too.
He's the head of Pixar right now.
Yeah, we actually saw him at TIFF a few years back.
Yeah,
PDD. This is kind of came out of the blue, and it's like, wow, Pixar has 2 movies coming out within a span of like 3 months of each other next year.
Yeah, crazy.
Onward and Soul. I remember the name of it. But this, when they said this is from cosmic realms and like New York City, I'm like, Pixar is about to flex on us again with their animation.
Because the animation in Toy Story 4,
unbelievable. Like I've never seen in my life.
My God, like I still have goosebumps from the animation.
The porcelain of Bo and like the lighting, the
Woody's
the
hands,
Woody's hands, like it's insane seeing what Woody looks like in the first movie compared to even what he looked like in Toy Story 3.
Yeah,
he looked
especially
great.
Bo had a glow up.
Bo had a huge glow up, and she looks great in Toy Story 4. Worth the price of admission alone.
Yeah.
So, do you have any thoughts on this?
It's so out of the blue, and I'm just kind of like, okay. I mean, I love Pete Docter, so I'm here for whatever he's gonna throw at us. My only thing is like when I see movies like, it takes place in New York City. It's like, oh, come on, give me somewhere new.
Right.
Give me a new locale.
Give us Toronto.
Give us
Toronto. The NBA championship city, Toronto.
But give us somewhere. Like, give us somewhere new. Like every movie takes place in New York City.
Yeah. Every especially animated movies, like mostly based in
these
New
metropolitan areas, right? So I'm here for something new, but at the same time, it's Disney, it's Pixar, and it's Pete Docter, right. So I'll shut my mouth.
Okay, shut it.
I mean, we should be getting a trailer soon, though.
Yeah. Speaking of trailers,
it
is time
for trailers.
Now, we didn't choose a trailer of the week last week.
We didn't.
Do we have? What was your favorite trailer last week?
What did we have last week?
I mean, it's in the past. Let's not fret about it. The new trailers that we got this week. We got Trolls World Tour.
Trailer last week for me was probably Dr. Sleep.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So we got Trolls World Tour. It's kind of hard to say. Trolls World Tour. Say it.
Trolls World Tour.
5 times fast.
Trolls. I can't do it. I already messed it up.
Trolls World Tour is coming out. Anderson .Paak is doing a voice in this movie.
Yes, Lord. That was pretty good. That was a pretty good.
I thought he was in the room with us right now.
Yes, Lord.
Point Blank, which is coming to Netflix.
I didn't watch this trailer.
You know,
honestly, this week I would say I didn't watch many trailers.
No, it was a slow week for trailers for sure.
Very slow. A lot of these are Netflix or what the hell is this? Like a lot of what's the plots. So can you what's the plot Point Blank for me?
Point Blank. Oh, you want me to tell you what it's about?
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so Point Blank is about a man with a gun for hands.
Oh, yeah. Edward Gunhands.
No, it's Jimmy Gunhands.
Oh, Jimmy Gunhands.
Yeah, Jimmy Gunhands. So Jimmy Gunhands goes around like waving at people. People think he have guns for hands, and he always gets tackled.
So wait,
yeah,
people think that he has guns for hands, but he does have guns.
He does have guns for hands, but people think that he's going to shoot them, right?
So they tackle him.
They tackle him, put him to the ground until enter Susie
the Sandman.
No, not Enter the Sandman. Enter Susie Holster, who meets Jimmy Gunhands, and just as her name implies, they get to know each other.
Wow, this is great. So Point Blank stars Anthony Mackie and
Frank Grillo. Yeah. It's a
Netflix film. To save his pregnant wife, an emergency room nurse teams up with an injured, murdered suspect in a race against time, rival criminals, and renegade cops. I'm sorry, but
didn't I say that?
No, you didn't.
That's exactly what I just said.
Oh, right now, yeah, you did. Edward Gunhands. Or Susie Gunhands? What was it? Jimmy Gunhands.
Jimmy Gunhands and Susie Holster.
Yeah. This plot, I'm not going to lie, it sounds really silly.
It sounds a little silly, right?
It sounds a little extreme.
And it will most likely have Netflix's record soon. Yeah. For the most watched movie in a weekend.
Killer Man.
Killer Man. Give me the plot of Killer Man, Shay.
Well, then the name is pretty obvious. Killer Man is about a ice cream man. Ice cream delivery man.
Yep.
And he's killing it with his scoops. So he's going around scooping up ice cream, throwing it on cones. But then one day he gets in a tragic sewing accident. He's trying to sew himself a new hat. But his hand runs underneath the sewing machine. So he can't scoop that well anymore. So he goes around and starts murdering kids. Because if he can't scoop ice cream, then no one can. Well, there won't be any kids to serve ice cream to.
What you left out an important part of the movie, though.
Tell me about it.
This is called Disney's Killer Man, which is
Disney and DreamWorks. Actually, they partnered for this one.
Oh, it's a weird one to team up for. Yeah. It was so good. They're like, guys, we got to team up for this.
Yeah, so that's that's what Killer Man's
So
about.
Killer Man stars Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah, he plays in the ice cream.
And he plays Mo Diamond. I'm not too sure which name is worse. Mo Diamond is a New York City money launderer. Wait, is this the plot of Soul?
It sounds like it.
Who wakes up with no memory and millions of dollars in stolen cash and drugs. He must soon scour the streets in search of answers while trying to dodge a crew of violent and crooked cops.
Wow.
Generic McGeneric.
Now, what plot do you think is better? Mine?
You know what plot
or the actual?
You know what plot is better.
That's what I thought.
We got a trailer for Ready or Not.
Yeah.
I added this to our show notes, to our run of show, and I totally forgot what it is.
Ready or Not. Why don't you watch the plot for me, Daniel?
Ready or Not. Do you know what the tagline is? Here I come.
Ready or not, here I come.
You can't hide. I'm gonna find. Starring the Fugees.
Yeah. But what's it about?
What is Ready or Not?
Yeah.
This is about a race. And they weren't ready.
Is it not called Ripley's Ready or Not? Like it's like a spin-off film of Ripley's Believe It or Not?
It's just gross world record people have.
Yeah.
Are you ready or not? Here's a 5-foot-tall booger. No!
Here's a man getting stabbed in his eye
90 times.
So Ready or Not is about a bride's wedding night takes a sinister turn when her eccentric new in-laws force her to take part in a terrifying game.
What? Who stars in this one? You think I know this because I put this in the show.
I would be surprised if you knew 3 people in this movie.
Okay.
How about Samara Weaving?
Oh, Samara Weaving. Yeah.
You will know one person for sure in this movie.
Steven Spielberg.
Adam Brody.
Oh, yeah. I remember it now. I remember this trailer now.
Andy McDowell.
Yep.
I don't know who these people are.
I remember when you said Adam Brody, I'm like, yeah, I remember this now.
Oh, I know Andy McDowell. Never mind.
Yeah, you know McDowell.
Yeah,
for
I know
sure.
Andy McDowell.
Yeah. We got a trailer for the Fast and the Furious animated series, which is also coming to
Didn't even
Netflix.
know that was coming, yeah.
We got the trailer for the the Peanut Butter Falcon.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to let you take the reins on this one.
Well, I've actually already seen the Peanut Butter Falcon, so I'm surprised the trailer's already out for it.
Okay.
But this is actually the story about Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Okay.
Okay, so the man on the assembly line, I think his name was Joey Joerson, and he was the fastest peanut butter Reese's Peanut Butter Cup making world champion, that they actually had to make a Olympic sport out of it.
Okay.
Now, in the 1937 Olympics that took place, I believe, in
The 37 Olympics?
1937 Olympics, where did they take place again?
Oh, this was the spin-off Olympics that took place in
It was a small Olympics. It wasn't like a big one. It was a tiny
these
Olympics.
when they held them in the Pacific Ocean.
They held them in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, in
you're
the
right.
ocean themselves.
And so, what was his name? Joey Joerson?
I think
yeah,
that's
that
what
was
we
his
said,
name.
yeah.
You know what? The movie was so good. I saw it in IMAX 40X. He gets the nickname the Peanut Butter Falcon because he's making these Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and they're
Right.
just flying off the
But
assembly line.
where does his name Reese come from, though?
What? What's that?
Where does the name Reese come from, though?
Have you seen the movie Terminator? Kyle Reese.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah, he was a huge fan of that film before it came out. Years, like I want to say 50 years before the film
Right,
came
right,
out.
right.
He was
right.
like, oh, because this actually it's a weird film because it's also the origin of the Terminator series. Joey Joerson was not only the fastest Reese's Peanut Butter Cup maker,
Right.
he was also one of the first writers for the Terminator before
bless him for
James
that.
Cameron got on board.
The Peanut Butter Falcon. The Peanut Butter Falcon, after running away from a residential nursing home to pursue his dreams of becoming a pro wrestler, a man who has Down syndrome befriends an outlaw who becomes
God.
his coach and ally.
This is nothing like I was saying.
Starring.
Oh God,
Who do you think it's starring? Known people.
Timothy Chalamet.
Shia LaBeouf.
Oh,
Dakota Johnson.
Oh.
John Bernthal.
oh.
Yellow Wolf. And Thomas Hayden Church.
Who the hell put Yellow Wolf in a movie?
Bird Box.
Or Eminem? No, that,
Oh, he wasn't in. He
that was
wasn't
Machine Gun Kelly.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, they're all yeah.
Yeah. So this actually has a good cast.
Has a cast.
Yeah, has a cast.
Okay.
I was hoping you would think that was a fake movie on the new trailers this week.
But you haven't done that yet, though.
Because you haven't noticed yet.
What do you mean? What about Stranger Things? You watched the trailer, right?
I was gonna say, yeah, you haven't watched this trailer, right?
No, I avoided this trailer.
Okay.
This trailer I knew about, but I avoided it.
Got you. It doesn't show a whole lot of new stuff that we haven't seen. A lot of reuse.
Actually, I don't think I've seen anything.
You haven't seen anything, eh? No, but I mean, like, I just finished watching season 1 and 2 again.
Nice.
And there's a bunch of shots from season 2 at the ending with 11 closing the portal and everything like that.
Right.
I feel like out of both seasons that we've gone so far, this is the most like 80s feeling. They're
Season
leaning
3, sorry?
They're leaning into it, yeah. Like the neon, the hair, and the makeup. It's like going super into the 80s, like taking
They're
place in the
finally
mall and
becoming
everything.
teens now, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're early teens. I mean, it looks great. I'm really excited for it. I like that it's coming out on July 4th. I mean, that's like a cute little nod because I think that's when the series is taking place because the whole tagline is one summer can change everything.
Oh, nice.
Just like season 2 came out at Halloween because that's when it started. So yeah, I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I love Stranger Things, and definitely this is gonna be one that I'm gonna be watching as soon as it comes out.
Where are you with Stranger Things now in terms of like, did you have a preference of season 1, season 2?
I like season 1 more.
Yeah, season 1 I think was the more complete story for me.
Yeah, and it just had a great story, and season 2 was good. There's just moments of it that I was like, okay, well,
Yeah, so some moments and characters that I feel like, maybe we don't have to spend so much time on this, right?
yeah.
Got you. So those are our trailers of this week so far. Shay, what is your trailer of the week?
Since I only watched the trailer for Trolls World Tour,
Oh my god.
yeah,
Is this about to happen?
My trailer of the week is Peanut Butter Falcon.
Okay. There we go.
What about you?
I'm gonna go with Stranger Things season 3 just because I absolutely love the look of this, and I feel like
Cool.
this next season of Stranger Things is really going to amp up the craziness.
Yes, Lord.
Yes, Lord. That wasn't a good one.
No,
Out this week. Not too much coming out this week.
no, but I'm really excited for what's coming out this week.
Yes,
Though.
we have Ophelia coming out this week, which is the Daisy Ridley movie. Annabelle Comes Home, and Yesterday.
All my troubles seem so far away. Without Anthony here, we do sing more songs.
I was going to say, this is what, their 4th time singing a song
I think
so far?
so.
It's because Anthony can't sing.
No.
Yeah.
And he only does, I think, grunge metal rapping.
Like Yellow Wolf.
Anthony's Yellow Wolf.
Yeah. If Anthony had grills and like long hair, I could see him being a white rapper for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's coming out this week. Yesterday, obviously the one that we're looking forward to most. Danny Boyle, awesome cast of characters, and of course, speaking for myself, my favorite band of all time.
Oh, mine too.
Yeah.
Man, my favorite band is also the Beatles, and I love listening to the music.
Yeah.
So for me, this is like huge.
It'd be nice to have 2 movies this year, like with great soundtracks. I mean, we had Rocket Man, which they recorded the music for. I'm really hoping with Yesterday, we're going to get like a really killer soundtrack out of that movie as well too. So. Danny Boyle hasn't really missed in the last couple of years. He's had some really great films.
He's a great director. He knows what he's doing, and he can handle music really well too.
Yeah. Is this his first film since Steve Jobs?
It's a personal question, but I can find out for you.
I have him on speed dial. Actually, I'm gonna call him up.
Ask him up.
Boop, beep, boop, 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 boop. Hello, Danny.
Danny Boyle.
Danny Boyle on the show. Hello, how's it going?
Bloody hell, mate. Oh, he did T2, Trainspotting.
Oh, so I'm like T2.
He did Terminator 2. Remember?
Terminator 2 from 1991.
He did Steve Jobs, and he did the Trainspotting.
Oh, I totally forgot he did the Transponding too.
Transponder?
Transponder.
So we're definitely going to go watch Yesterday. And we'll be giving you our thoughts.
Definitely.
Tomorrow. No, I'm kidding.
On next week's episode.
Yeah.
Also, we'll have a video up on our YouTube channel for sure. Quick plug as well, too, before we get into what we've been watching. We have all our reviews up on YouTube. Shay said it earlier as well. We have all of the video episodes of the podcast. You could watch them there as well, too. We have our Toy Story 4 review up there right now. And we'll have our Yesterday review up there on Thursday night.
Si, senora.
I don't know why my voice went so high there either.
Yeah, I don't know why.
What we've been watching, Anthony has been watching anything because he is dead to us.
Yes.
But I've been watching Men in Black International.
Nice.
We both saw that this week.
Yeah.
Stranger Things, as I mentioned. I've been diving back into Smallville.
Nice.
Yeah, Smallville, probably one of my favorite shows of all time.
Nice.
Just one of those shows that I grew up watching, right? And if anyone is out there listening from Fan Expo, if you're looking for somebody to host your panel, I'm just going to throw my cape in the ring right now.
We also met Kristen Kirk, remember?
We did. Kristen Crook. Well, because she's a crook because she stole my heart.
Oh.
So we met her.
She was a sweetheart, though. She's so nice.
She's such a kind person. And what was this, Fan Expo 2017, I want to say we met her? I
think so, yeah.
So she was promoting a video game that she was in?
Shenmue.
Shenmue.
No. Shenmue's the game that's
Shu could be.
Could be.
One of the two.
She's playing a character.
She was playing a character in a game, and so we went to her panel, and we got to hear her talk.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, if you want to come meet her, she'll be in the convention center.
And we literally...
So I literally walked by, and like literally my whole life, like this is a character who I loved watching. Lana was always one of my favorite characters on Smallville. And we were just in line. I'm like, oh my God, she's right there.
Yeah.
And we met her.
We barely waited, like, I think, 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, we literally just... I walked up to her, and I'm like, hello. And she's like, hi, I'm Kristen. I'm like... Yeah, I know.
I've heard of you.
And then I passed out right there.
You did. The picture of you passing out in her arms was cute.
It's good. It's something to tell my children.
Yes. With her.
No, but seriously, so yeah, Fan Expo is happening later in the year, in August in Toronto, and Tom Welling's going to be there, who plays Clark. Michael Rosenbaum's playing Lex. Kristen Crook's going to be there, who plays Lana. So yeah, if you're looking for anybody, I'm just going to... Hello. Here. Hello there. What have you been watching, Shay?
Men in Black 1 and 2.
Yes.
I watched International as well. I watched it with my girlfriend. Not a good movie.
Men in Black 2?
We didn't review it on our YouTube channel because we didn't
International.
watch it.
We watched it separately?
We watched it separately. We didn't review it, but...
and it was also after the fact as well, too.
Yeah, what would you say?
In terms of our review scale?
What would you give it, yeah?
Skip it.
Hard skip it.
Yeah, it was... I just don't think it was... it was an unnecessary movie.
It looked like a film that to me was put together in a studio with just shots that were filmed. The studio interfered and made it into a movie.
I can't believe it was F. Gary Gray who directed this.
Yeah.
Because say what you will about Fast 8, not a good movie.
Yeah.
But at least he felt he had his DNA in there a bit more.
Yeah.
Obviously, we love Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
But this movie was just like, it could have just been paint by numbers, like whoever.
It was just a bunch of edited scenes that were brought together to not form really a cohesive
And it sucks
plot.
because like you have Tessa Thompson, who's a great actress. You have Chris Hemsworth, who's a great actor.
But I didn't think they had good chemistry though. And
They didn't. It didn't.
weird.
You didn't feel like it in this movie, but in Thor Ragnarok, you felt that.
Love it.
It was palpable. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you felt that. But in this movie, I feel like they were banking too hard on them having good chemistry in the Thor movie.
Yeah.
That it didn't translate into this movie.
Yeah. I watched Murder Mystery, like I said.
Oh yes, on Netflix.
Yeah. Toy Story 4, which we already talked about.
Yes, we did.
And I started AP Bio season 1.
Yeah.
And I think you also started.
I started.
that as
Yeah,
well.
I'm 3 episodes in now.
Nice. Yeah, I'm on the 8th episode now.
Yeah.
So
short seasons though. of that
very
show.
short season, which is great. It was on sale on iTunes, and I love Glenn Howerton of Always Sunny fame.
Yeah, who plays Dennis?
And yeah, it's a fun, digestible show. It's good to have in the background as well. But I'm really enjoying it.
Okay. I would love to take a bit of a deeper dive into Toy Story 4, if we may, for a few moments. We gave this movie a watch it in our review. Go check out the video if you want to hear some more of our kind of overall thoughts on it. But what a beautiful movie, man.
It's such a great film. And, you know, we talked about in this podcast a lot about how we were so nervous going into this movie. I'm so glad that a lot of our worries and problems were just washed away immediately. And that in the first 9 minutes of this movie, I was immediately hooked. I was in. The animation is just absolutely mind-blowing. And on top of that, like, I really got the feels at the end.
There were 2 moments where I really choked up and I had tears coming out of my eyeballs.
Out of your eye ducts.
The intro to the movie, like after we see Woody and Bo kind of saying goodbye to one another, and the
Spoilers.
and You've Got a Friend in Me kicks in, and you see like Andy, and you see Andy growing up and everything like that. That really hit me again.
Yeah.
And then again towards the end of the movie. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it.
So if you haven't seen Toy Story 4, skip maybe, 5 minutes down?
5 minutes from now.
5 minutes
Yeah,
from
you
now.
got it. We'll put it in the show notes as well too, where the spoilers end.
Yeah, so right now, skip 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And welcome back.
You made it. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Like at the end, this is the most I feel like against the grain they could have gone with this ending.
Yes.
Because they were literally, I felt like they were really setting up them bringing Gabby to live with Bonnie, and then everybody's going to be a big happy family, comes home with them. But that scene where they're all at the carnival at the end, and Woody just looks at Buzz, and Buzz just knows what Woody's thinking, right?
She's going to be okay.
Yeah. Bonnie's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And Woody stays, and like, wow, like I was not ready for that.
It was definitely an emotionally heavy moment, and the second time I watched it, I bawled my eyes out because it was a happy cry that, you know, Woody can finally move on. He can be with the love of his life. He can be with Bo.
Yeah. You know what it reminded me of?
Tell me.
Avengers Endgame.
Very similar, yeah.
Because it's like Woody is Captain America in this scenario, right?
Totally.
He's leaving the team to move on. You know, he gave Jesse the stars, like Cap handing over the shield, and Buzz is basically Bucky in this scenario. And
I think back to Toy Story 3 when Bo's name is brought up, the immediate look that Woody has is just a sadness, like, even Bo. And you feel it. So when Toy Story 4 came out and that moment of loss happens, it's totally earned, it's justified, and it makes sense. And Bo is such an amazing character in this movie.
What an amazing job they did to give her so many layers and make her somebody that Woody, like, obviously he had this idea of who she was, but now that she's been on her own for so long, has really come into her own.
Yeah.
And she was easily my favorite character in this movie. And
Easily.
this was such a Woody movie.
Yeah.
That I just love that he got his happy ending, even if it's to the detriment of the audience feeling sadness because he's leaving, but you're also happy because like he deserves that.
Yeah.
And it's funny that we're talking in this sense of a movie, and especially an animated movie, but that just goes to show how much life and soul that Pixar puts into these characters.
We
right?
grew up with these movies too, right? I mean, 24 years of this franchise.
Yeah.
That's nuts. 24 years. It's like, I think it's the only franchise that I can think of that I've grown up with.
That this is like, it feels like it's ours, and I don't mean that in a possessive way.
No,
I mean that it's part of us. It's within us.
Yeah.
Right. So it just, I was so happy. I'm like, oh my god, Woody's getting his happy ending, and I think this is where there was a payoff more. Obviously, we've spoken about How to Train Your Dragon before, right? Those movies haven't always been for me, right? I don't have that emotional attachment to those characters, but I was a little upset that, like, you kind of see that whatever Jay Baruchel's character, John
Bernthal's brother.
I was kind of like that. You see him in the trailer with like the beard. You see him older and stuff like that, and I feel like that would have been a moment they should have held off.
Yeah.
Toy Story 4 was marketed very strangely in the sense of
I
the
think that's
story
what
of it.
Maybe hurt it.
Right. And like hurt it. We'll throw that with quotes, right?
Quotes.
But like the fact that like that felt like such a payoff.
Yeah.
Woody, where I feel like How to Train Your Dragon, the movie wasn't the greatest, but at least the ending had a good send off for the character, where this whole movie felt like a proper send off and a proper setup that way, right?
Yeah. And all the characters that we were introduced to, like I was afraid the whole Ducky and Bunny character would have been too.
I thought they were just going to be
DreamWorksy,
too much, too comedic timing, but they weren't.
Perfect.
Their laughs were perfect,
well earned.
Yeah.
Duke Kaboom, who I thought was going to have a little bit of screen time, has a fair amount of screen time.
He has a great time of screen time, yeah. And a great story as well.
And a great story, and Canadian too, so obviously my heart goes out.
Yeah. Yes, I Canada!
It's just, the movie overall is, it's just a great time, and it's a great addition to Toy Story 3.
Right.
But it's so hard for me to say it's another Toy Story film.
It's so hard for you to say that it is
like,
a Toy Story film?
It's not to me a Toy Story separate film. It to me was very much like a Toy Story 3 additional ending story.
Yeah, like this feels like the epilogue.
Very much so.
You know, this feels like an epilogue to Toy Story 3, where you're getting the answers for the questions that you had throughout Toy Story 3, and you're just getting that proper send off that, you know, Woody will always be Andy's toy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And he just felt that he wasn't able to get that life from Bonnie, so he had to move on, and now he gets to be with Bo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that actually brings us to about 5 minutes now of this discussion.
Was it? Did we hit around 5 minutes? We did it, right?
We got about 10 seconds left,
okay.
or now 5 seconds left. So if you've made it this far, thank you. Our spoiler talk for Toy Story 4 is now complete.
It is done.
So
welcome back.
Welcome back to reality. Yeah. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Joe, he's so mad, but okay.
See, lots of singing now.
Lots of rapping too. So what's our topic of the show, Danielle?
Pardon me?
It's your French name.
Oh, yes, it is.
Oui.
Like Duke Kaboom's owner in
Région. Yeah.
Our topic of the show this week is all about our favorite filmmaking
duos.
Shay, what would you define as a filmmaking duo, just so we could set our audience up for success right now?
So filmmaking duos to me are like the names you always pretty much see together. So you'll see the Coen brothers together a lot.
Right.
I mean, they are brothers. Yeah. That's kind of why.
It makes sense.
But you look at Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the directing duo behind
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Well,
they're the writers
for it, and
21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street, the Lego movie,
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yeah, you look at the Russo brothers, who did Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame, Civil War, Winter Soldier, Arrested Development, Community.
The Wachowski sisters. Yeah. So
lots of pairs working together, right?
Even look at
Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Tom Cruise, Paula Wagner, Simon Pegg, and Nick Frost.
Yeah, so these are throwing them out there.
Yeah, so we're not talking about directors and acting working together like Leo and Scorsese or Leo and De Niro, Tarantino and Sam Jackson. That's not what we're talking about today. No. We are talking about our favorite filmmakers who are behind the camera.
Yeah.
Do you want to start us off with one?
So for me, growing up, I mean, watching the Wachowskis just hit out of the park with The Matrix.
Right.
That was really, I think, the first time I really got to see two names on the screen and really pay attention. I'm like, wow, two people made this movie? Yeah. That's insane.
That always stood out to me so much whenever I saw two names on the screen at the end for a director. Me being a dumb kid was like, oh, wow, was it too hard for them to make? Was it too hard for one person to make this movie? Yeah. But it wasn't. It's not that at all. It just like you and I, we've spoken like episodes back now where we talk about our own creative careers. Right. What episode was that?
I think that was like one of the first. Anthony left pretty quickly. I can pull that up.
You'll pull that up. Yeah. But like, it's just one of those things that when you find something that you work so collaboratively well with, you just kind of run with it. So yeah, the Wachowskis. they're definitely like what they did with the Matrix. I feel like changed movies at that point, right? 1999, that first Matrix movie comes out. And if Anthony was here, he'd have a lot to say about the Matrix as well, as he has in the past of this show, right? Have the Wachowskis done anything else for you since that first Matrix movie?
No. No, they haven't. Which I know sounds kind of mean.
No,
but,
it's not. It's not that. They've made movies not for us, right?
Yeah, they didn't.
And in terms of not for us, I mean not that we've found interest in, not that they're making movies for us specifically, right?
Yeah. I don't think that episode exists anymore, Daniel.
No, of course it does.
What episode was it?
I'll find it. Do you want to name off another duo?
When we look back at the, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
Yeah.
So not only are they a writing duo, they're an acting duo as well. And I look back at it, and they're just they hit out of the park with Good Will Hunting, which is a film that I love so much.
Beautiful film.
Did you find the episode?
Episode 6. Avengers Endgame tickets and movies we've made.
Oh, it's the one that I'm on right now. Yeah, I just
episode 6. If you want to go back and listen to that, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, I feel like they've been the ones that in our own kind of like circle we've always aspired to be.
Oh yeah, I mean,
right?
that we sent each other that picture of Ben Affleck and Matt Damon touching their Oscar tips.
Thank God you said Oscar tips.
Because it's definitely that motivation, that inspiration for us from wanting to get into the industry that we want.
For sure. And Good Will Hunting is just, it's one of those movies that I watch it like at least once a year.
Yeah, for sure.
It just it's a bit of a heavier watch sometimes, but it's also like a cathartic watch.
It is. It's a great film. Robin Williams just sells it for me, and I just love it.
And just to think that like they were like our age when they wrote that.
Oh, I know.
It doesn't hurt at all.
It doesn't hurt at all.
But what a script. Like it's so funny. Did you like, I feel like we spoke about this before, but the fact that they would add like random scenes in the scripts. So when they sent to the studios, they would know a studio didn't read it if they didn't mention like the extremely bizarre scene that they had written in.
Yeah.
That's so clever.
That's very clever. And then Gus Van Sant directed that film too. Yeah. So it's a great director behind the camera as well. For sure. So Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are huge, and they're just executive produced as well too. A City on a Hill. Yeah, you watched the first episode.
I watched the first half of the first episode.
Okay,
so I didn't finish it. It's starting with Kevin Bacon. It takes place in Boston in the 70s.
Okay.
So I wasn't feeling it too much, but I need to give it a proper watch when I'm not super tired and when I'm in the mood for it.
That's really all that it is. I mean, I think the biggest ones to us where you and I really started to pay attention to directing, or I guess creative duos.
The two names at the end, the creative duos.
Lord Miller. So Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who have been in the game for so much longer than I thought they were, came out of nowhere, surprised us with 21 Jump Street, which is one of my absolute favorite comedies.
Their first live action film, correct?
Yeah. So they you know what's funny? I actually saw Cloudy the Chance of Meatballs in theaters,
right?
And I liked it. I was like, oh, this is a good movie. But again, their name didn't register to me at all.
No,
like,
not
to
at
me,
all,
it was because here's the thing: animated films typically do have multiple directors on them.
Yeah, for sure. Look at Into the Spider-Verse had 3 directors on it, right?
You look at Brave, that also had 2 or 3 directors on it too.
Yep.
So their name didn't catch me at all. And then when I saw 21 Jump Street, I'm like, oh my God, these guys are amazing. Then 22 Jump Street comes out and they kill it again. And now these guys are literally the hottest ticket. Like everybody wants a piece of them.
They're literally, they're like, that's why they were called up to do Solo. That's why they worked on the Flash script. Like they are the directing duo. They are the creative team right now that I feel like everybody in Hollywood wants to work with them, right?
Yeah.
For better or for worse, right? We even seen like with Game Night, also directed by 2 directors.
Yeah.
That feels very like Lord Miller.
Yeah.
Ask that movie, right? 21 Jump Street, I feel like is a movie that we quote every single day.
Oh, I can put it anytime.
What do they say about covalent bonds at this school? Right? it's such a great movie. 22 Jump Street, Into the Spider-Verse, which they produced, and they got their Oscars for, which I was so happy. One of my favorite Oscar moments, right? And they both produced it, which is great. So they both got their Oscars, right?
I was in New York City when that Oscars was happening, and I was in a bar watching the Oscars because I can't miss it. And as soon as they won the Oscar for that, I started cheering so loud. I was so happy for that moment because it's what I waited for. It was like that one Oscar moment on top of Leo winning that I was really excited
It's
for.
so funny because like even when you look at their careers too, like obviously they started off in like animation, right? They were the directors of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the first episode, right?
Yeah.
They helped bring that show to screen. They wrote with the Lonely Islands Extreme Movie. Do you remember Extreme Movie? They wrote one of the writers of Extreme Movie, which I saw in theaters.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but it's just crazy that like where they started and where they are now. Right after Extreme Movie, they did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yeah.
So they literally just turned it around right there, right?
Full 180. But then also let's not forget about the fact that they did the Lego Movie, a movie that people were like, why is this being made?
Yeah.
No one wanted a Lego
Nobody
movie.
wanted a Lego movie.
It seemed like such a commercialism, like consumerism kind of movie. And the movie was in the same vein as 21 Jump Street and 20 Jump Street. It was so self-aware.
Yeah.
So funny.
Nobody does that better than them. That self-aware
that
humor,
meta humor
is so good, and they just nail it. I can't wait to see more live action movies from them, because have they only ever directed 21, 22 Jump Street and then half of Solo?
Yeah, really.
For live action films?
For live action films?
Which is insane to think that, right?
Yeah. Oh
but they're such a great team together, and you could tell like the way they talk in interviews that they just have such a great shorthand with one another.
They also did.
They just know what each other's going next.
Yeah, they also did. They had a show that they created as well called Last Man on Earth.
Yeah, with Will Forte.
Such
a funny show.
2 episodes of that, and I watched the first season, and again,
really
hilarious
funny show.
Yeah. So again, they're a duo that I love, and their next film is called Last Human, which has been announced. Let's see how far into production it gets. But
hopefully we will definitely be here to talk about it. So stay tuned for that. What's another one that we love, or should I throw one out for you?
Throw one out.
I want to throw it. Here it comes.
Oh, got it.
And it says the Russo brothers.
The Russo brothers.
Yeah.
Now they're an interesting duo. So again, I watched a lot of Community, which I've told you about. And seeing their name pop up again, one of those things that just didn't pay attention to. And then I remember when I watched Winter Soldier, which is really their first foray into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and seeing Danny Putty's Abed character in the sequence of the movie, I was like, wait, hold on, wow, he's in this movie? And then only after that I realized how heavily invested they were in Community. They directed and wrote some of the best episodes of that show.
Right.
Which you definitely have to watch. We have to watch.
I got to start it, man. I got to start it proper. I've watched season 1, but I need to go back into it because
properly watch it. Right? Yeah, and they're just so good, man.
They're again like when you look at their body of work in the MCU, you got Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. Arguably the biggest movies, not just in the MCU, but in movie history.
Yeah.
Right. And they helm those movies to perfection. There's no fat in those movies. They just clearly executed it like incredibly well done.
Yeah.
And their commentaries are really fun to listen to. If you ever listen to their, speaking of commentaries, you probably should have said for Phil Lord and Chris Miller as well. Hilarious commentaries.
21 Jump Street.
Their 21 Jump Street. Their Lego commentaries.
Lego movie.
So funny. So definitely, if you have the opportunity to ever watch movies with commentary, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but going back to the Russo brothers, it's crazy to see they've been in the game for a really long time. They've done work on so many movies and so many shows, and they're now totally changing gears, and they're working with Tom Holland on like an opioid addiction film, which is coming out next year.
Yeah,
where Tom Holland is like a soldier.
Yeah.
So to be able to go from like the biggest movie of all time to a smaller drama piece like that, I think that's so cool that they could do that.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw another one out there that's a bit interesting.
Okay.
Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin.
Okay. So I know Roland Emmerich.
Yeah.
Independence Day, Day After Tomorrow.
Dean Devlin is actually he's one of his main writers. So they did Universal Soldier together. He wrote the screenplay. And Roland Emmerich was also one of the writers in the screenplay, and then directed the film. Stargate, Independence Day was a Dean Devlin, and
so they've just been together for a long time.
Godzilla.
1999's Godzilla?
Pretty much so.
Or 98?
Yeah, pretty much so. And then they came back together for Independence Day Resurgence, and then Dean Devlin wrote and I think directed Geostorm.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, he
they
directed it as
love
well.
those disaster movies.
They loved
though,
it, and they loved working together too. They were such big names in the '90s with each other. Because I remember when Independence Day was coming out, and like you were hearing like Dean Devlin.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool, that's really wicked. So this is they are a very interesting duo, I guess you could say.
For sure.
Yeah, they did a lot of their disaster movies together.
Okay. I'm going to throw out a comedy duo that I absolutely love.
Tell me.
Simon Pegg and Nick
Yeah.
Frost.
Love it.
So obviously they're very well known for their Edgar Wright films.
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's End. But they've also been behind so many other movies. They did Paul.
Paul was an
with
interesting one.
with Seth
Rogen.
With Seth Rogen, yeah. Weird movie, but
Weird movie.
The Cornetto trilogy, which is the Edgar
Yeah.
Wright films that we love. Do you have a favorite of the trilogy?
Yes.
What is it?
Hot Fuzz.
Why is that?
It, to me, was the first one that I watched out of the Cornetto trilogy.
What? Yeah.
And I loved it. Like, I went back and revisited Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
And then I watched Scott Pilgrim
Yeah.
again because I was like, holy crap, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, this is so funny. Like, British humor always kind of goes over my head a little bit.
Right.
But it stuck with me so well.
I got you. I love it. And those are movies that were such like instrumental parts of like growing up for me, just because. And I think 8th grade and in high school, things like that, like those are the movies that a lot of my friends were watching, and so many of my friends loved like British like shows and stuff like that. So I always watched.
What kind of school did you go to?
I went to school in
I
England.
went to Mr. Puppington's tea time elementary. Why do you ask?
Well, it's funny you should say. I should tell you right now.
Yes.
I love those movies, and especially I think Hot Fuzz for me is one of my favorite movies of all time, just because the chemistry that Simon Pegg and Nick Frost have on screen is just it's so good. They play off each other so well. I also love The World's End. I think The World's End is a movie that it kind of gets forgot about sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's just such a funny and well done movie, and it's so funny when you watch. I feel like anytime you watch like a British film, every single person who's ever been in Harry Potter shows up.
Yeah.
It's just funny that like you watch it and I'm like, wow, they literally just took everybody who's in Love Actually and everybody who's in an Edgar Wright movie and put them in roles.
Even in
Harry Potter.
like a Guy Ritchie or a Matthew Vaughn film.
Yeah,
like a Layer Cake, like it's got half the cast of Harry Potter.
Yeah,
in there too.
they just all pop up. It's so good. But yeah, I mean, Edgar Wright, I feel like is one of those directors that I feel like his best movies are still to come.
Yes.
Like, and he's made amazing films. I think he's only going to have even better movies in his repertoire coming down the line, and hopefully Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are part of that because they are just awesome. They're an awesome team working together.
I 100% agree with you. The directing and writing duos they're a lot of fun because, I mean, for us, you and I working together, we can bounce off ideas and just kind of get to something that's even more special.
Right.
For directors that, work by themselves, it's amazing. That's such a talent that you have.
For sure. And that you have a vision and you can stick to that. Like,
and just nail
kind
it,
of carry that weight. Christopher Nolan is somebody who comes to mind, who obviously is my favorite director. But he is, if you look at every single one of his movies, produced by Emma Thomas, who is his wife.
Yeah.
But they are a team together who, when you look at a film like Dunkirk and Dark Knight and Interstellar, they are part of that machine of making that movie.
Yeah.
And I love watching people collaborate. I absolutely love that.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone else you want to throw out?
I'm trying to think of. I mean, like I look back at like as actors and producers, like you have Tom Cruise and Paula Wagner.
Yep.
They're always working together from Mission Impossible down to whatever else they make, and they have their production company, Cruise Wagner.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's funny because like when we first started kind of conceiving this idea, right, we were kind of thinking of it like just people any two people that kind of work together. So which I kind of mentioned at the beginning of the topic, like Tarantino and Samuel L. Jackson or Robert De Niro and Scorsese. But I feel like that's such a topic within itself.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you guys, like, to you listening, do you have a favorite filmmaking duo? Like, do you have any two creators that you love watching them collaborate with one another? And you know what? For this week, I'm opening it up to whatever genre of art you want to talk about. So if you have a filmmaking duo or music duo, anything, just let us know.
Has to be a duo though.
Has to
you
be
come
a
at
duo.
us with three?
Nah, this
Get
ain't
outta
a
here.
trio. This ain't a quartet. This is a duo, son.
What's five?
Pentagonera.
quinceañera.
It's a quinceañera.
Where I'm playing my sousaphone.
And to play your sousaphone, yeah. But please write into thistimewith.com/talk and let us know.
And if you have something that you want us to talk about, if you want us to dive into a topic or dive into something that really tickles your funny bone, let us know, because we'd love to dissect something or really go into, different movie topics out there.
Definitely. You know where to find us. This Time With on all social media platforms. You can find
everything.
You can
find MySpace, High Five,
Harvard.edu,
T.Wire,
T.Wire on LimeWire as well. You can download this episode on Kazaa,
Asian Avenue,
everywhere.
We're everywhere.
You can find me at DBAPS across all social media as well too. You can find Shay at Shaybaz, SHAYHBAZ.
Yeah.
Or Z.
No, if you're from the Americas.
If you're from the Americas.
UK or whatever.
Sure. Oh gosh, Shay's going to do his accent again.
Nah.
Thank you for letting us do this. We absolutely love doing the show. If you want to be part of it, again, thistimewith.com/talk. Please rate us on iTunes, because that helps us a lot to show up on New and Noteworthy, so we could build our fan base and we could build our community, because that's what this is all about. We love talking to you guys.
We love movies and we love talking to you guys.
We'll be back next week, maybe with Anthony. We'll see. We'll see if we let him in.
I mean, vacation lasted only so long, right?
You mean our vacation?
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
That's
us.
Our vacation. That was This Time With the Movie Podcast.
And we'll see you next.